Hello, Amy Cummings here with Authentic Woman Podcast and Cummings Coaching. It's Wednesday, and the sun is shining here in Minnesota. If you're living somewhere where the sun has been shining for a long time, just ignore us Minnesotans who have not seen it in a long time. So we are excited, and gosh, it just gives you new life to see the sunshine and to be outside without a jacket and just enjoying all of the birds and the new flowers coming up. And anyone who knows me knows I love my peonies, and they have popped up and they're growing, and just amazing, amazing time. And I love spring. I think it's a time to just reflect on new beginnings. It's a time to think about I don't know, just have renewed energy. Um, think about our dreams and how am I going to live them out, be recharged. Um, and It's also just great family time. I love that we can be just outside so much more and be refreshed. And I don't know, I get more inspiration during this time. I feel like I get more creative, more inspiration, more energy. So I um I wanted to talk to you today about leadership and that you are a leader. No matter what you might think, if you're running your business, you're running a household, you're starting a business, you're working anywhere you're working, if you're working for someone else, we are all leaders. People are looking to you, women. And how we show up is encouraging other people, being present. Doesn't mean we're going to be perfect. I mean, if you read my article in the newsletter this week, like emotional command was not the skill that I apparently had mastered, because I felt like a complete flop on it earlier this week. But I had the tools to change. I had the tools to be a different woman, to be the woman that God designed me to be, to continue to do the hard work of growing and changing and climbing the next summit. And you were born. You were born in this time, right? The story of Esther, for such a time as this. And you were born as a leader in this time. God has a special mission for you to do, to bring your light to the world. And my light's going to be different than your light. How I lead is going to be different than how you lead. Some of that is because of our past, right? Our experiences, our failures, our family of origin, right? Our wounds. All of that designed helps us to become the woman we are today. The woman who God needs in this time to lead. And we must lead ourselves first. We can't give what we don't possess. And as we're chasing our highest self, right? As we are climbing that next summit, we're going through growing pains. We can also walk that journey with other people. We can have mentors, we can have guides. And we also recognize that we never arrive, right? I always have to be growing and changing. We never stay the same, whether it's our spiritual life, our physical life, our mental life, right? Growing, growing, growing. Always remembering that we're evolving, right? So each of the arenas in our life, as we've described them, if you've done the Art of Being a Woman class, master class with me or another strategist, in the 8 arenas in lesson 3 and 4, you took the time to describe in each of the arenas who is that woman who you want to become. So in the arena of health, physical health, you want to have energy and you want to have, you can be, you want to be focused, you want to be present, or in the area of your intimacy and marriage life, right? Maybe you want to be vulnerable, thriving, all of the ways that you describe maybe your environment, right? You want it to be peaceful and organized and welcoming, whatever the words were that you described in each of those arenas. Those are the things we need to focus on to continue to grow in those areas to help us to be better leaders. All of those arenas we lead in. And we first lead ourselves with discipline. And in crystallizing the picture of the woman that you want to become, crystallizing that, right? Imagining it in your mind's eye. This is the woman I want to be. And so that then will lead to the discipline to have your schedule and your calendar and follow it. The discipline to say no when someone asks you maybe to help or do something that doesn't fit in with your family life and your values and the dream that God has commissioned to you. And as you're elevating every single one of those arenas, you're leading yourself first, right? We can't expect other people to do what we ourselves won't do. Yeah, think of that as a mom, right? I can't expect Eddie, I expect to clear his plate from the dinner table if I'm not also doing that, right? Or fixing my bed or picking up after myself, right? So the discipline has to come first in our own lives. And that is what a good leader does. We discipline ourselves in every single arena so that we're investing in ourselves and then we inspire others by the woman who we're becoming in our leadership. And yes, some people might have a greater propensity to be leaders, right? But everyone can learn to be a great, amazing leader. And some might lead in very, what looks like small ways. And then some people's leadership, someone's women's leadership might look big and grand. It in every area of leadership, whatever, whether your leadership looks small to you or it's grand, it still requires for you to have great discipline. And one of the ways I think that is critical as a leader is for us to make other people feel important. And we can only do that by embracing this idea of being present so that I can be fully present for this person who is in my office, sitting on my couch, um, you know, wherever I'm encountering that person. How am I showing up for them? Right? What are the questions I'm asking them? How am I going deep into their life so that when they leave my presence, whether that's an employee, a coworker, a family member, a youth and someone in the youth program, if you're working in ministry, how do they leave my presence? Do they leave my presence more elevated in who they are as a person? Or does my presence take them down? And I think we've all experienced bad leadership, right? I mean, there could be lots of stories of bad leadership in our past. But those are opportunities to learn. One of the things to learn is that's not the type of leader I want to be, right? I certainly have had bosses over the years who kind of in a closed they say they have an open door policy, but they don't really. You know what I mean? Like their office door is always closed, or they don't want to hear about conflict. They don't want to handle conflict. They don't want to, um, have those difficult conversations with other people who might not be doing their job. And that can be really frustrating. But it's something I learned early on in my life that that's not the type of leader I want to be. Right? I want to be able to serve alongside. I mean, working with the Steubenville conferences for as many years as I have, it's a privilege for me and an honor for me to work alongside volunteers. Whether it's unloading the truck to, setting up chairs in the arenas, helping them through the food lines, to, having social time with the ministry team, the speakers, all of the what might seem insignificant jobs, but they so need to be done. I want to be alongside my people, the volunteers who are dedicating their time to serve, right? And that's what good leaders do. They serve. We serve, we have discipline, we have good boundaries, we have great self-worth and self-image, and we treat people with respect and dignity because everyone is a beloved son and daughter of the King. And I think if we really embrace that we really recognize our own worth, we can then recognize and respect and love other people's worth as well. Hmm. I mean, I'm just thinking, it just kind of even makes me tear up a little bit of the wonderful people, amazing, oh my gosh, outstanding individuals who I have been able to and been blessed to serve alongside over my years in my career. Um, and the privilege that I've had to give to them, to intersect in their lives, to be present, to know them, to really know them, and to thank them. Hmm. I mean, it's really a gift. It's a gift. Leadership is a gift and a responsibility. And and it gives us a certain amount of I mean the responsibility, right? That is we're empowered by the Lord, of course, to do the work that he calls us to do. And that's a privilege. And to respect that we have that place and that we can give and we can abundantly contribute to the lives of others. And also to recognize that we don't do anything alone, right? It's together that we work in ministry, that we build a business, that we start a business, right? That you lead a family, that you mother your children, that you teach your children, that you love your spouse, that you have a thriving marriage. All of that takes investment. It takes knowing your boundaries. It takes knowing your values. What are your values? And that you line everything up against your values. Um, and there's a leader, unearthing that leader inside of you. Over time and over your growth and understanding that we are always growing, and it's not the destination, it's the journey of leadership. And for each one of us, that journey is going to look different. and for us to humbly recognize when we're called to lead, right? And when we're called to follow. But the important element is that we first learn to lead ourselves. And that is done through discipline. And no, that's not like a popular word, right? I don't even like it that much. And there are areas of my life where I need to work on my discipline. Exercising more. I jokingly say I wasn't born with that gene, of being a runner or loving exercise, but I still need to discipline myself to do it regularly because I know the benefits that it brings to me and my health and my family and my mental health. And so that discipline requires me to put it on my calendar, to schedule my exercise, workout, routine and time. Discipline requires me to have my prayer time every day. Be disciplined with when am I doing my, time blocking for work? What are the times that I'm setting aside for social media? What are the times I'm setting aside for marketing? What are the times I'm setting aside for customer service? You know, and being a coach, what are the times that I'm setting aside to this is my coaching time, right? Whether it's with my private clients or with in the masterminds of women that I walk with. Once we get clear on the discipline, the dream first, the crystal clear on the dream and where God has called us to serve in this season and to give in this season and lead in this season, then we can be crystal clear on the discipline that it's going to take to attain that. And even go beyond it, beyond to the next dream, the next summit. Mm. Leadership has always been something I've studied leadership for years. I've always loved reading books about leadership. I get inspired by other leaders. I learn from them, try and incorporate, different leadership skills and styles into who I am as a leader. And yes, I sometimes don't do it well. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I um, don't have good emotional command. Sometimes I don't choose the right words. But I can go back and fix that, right? I can go back and humbly ask for forgiveness. I can go and ask others to give me their input into a plan or an idea or a strategy. I can look to my staff, and even though I know I'm a confident leader, I still can trust in their ideas and how they want to do a particular project, right? And that takes humility. A lot of virtues. A leader needs a lot of virtues. But you can do it. I can do it. We can be leaders. We are leaders. So today I just invite you, take some time to think about how are you leading yourself? How are you leading yourself as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, as a coworker, as someone working in ministry? You were born for such a time as this, as it says in Esther. The world needs your leadership. The Lord needs your gifts. The world needs the dreams and desires that are on your heart to come to fruition because the Lord felt and knew and loves us so much that he brought us into this world during this time in our particular families, in our particular countries, in our particular communities and parishes and schools. I believe in you. You can do this. You can be disciplined. You can be an outstanding woman leading in your quiet ways at home and at the boardroom, right? And one of my favorite books right now, which was also in my newsletter, is called Running with the Giants. It's by John C. Maxwell, and it goes through the Old Testament heroes and what we can learn from them in life and leadership. Book was given to me by my sister, who is an amazing leader. She is just an outstanding leader, and one person can make a difference. Don't underestimate the difference that you can make in your family and in the future generations. And that the Lord calls us. I'm just looking for my little chapter on Esther here that I thought I had marked. And that God has a place for you, right? That this was one of the encouragements from Esther. No place is out of place when you're in God's place. Right? No place is out of place when you're in God's place. And so you are in the place that God wants you. He will equip you. And it requires of you to have the discipline to lead yourself first. And that's a privilege. And when we realize the purpose in our life that God gives us, that we're empowered. We're empowered then to take risks, to embrace failure, to overcome critics, to not get caught up in comparison and competition. Right? These are all of the ways that we can get off track. Believe in your worth that is given to you from the Lord. And lead with joy, lead with freedom, lead with abundant contribution. And I am just thrilled, to be with you, to be able to spend time with you, to share some thoughts with you. If you want to go deeper in your leadership and growth as a woman, I just invite you to join me in my upcoming mastermind, the Art of Being a Woman Mastermind. It's an 18-week program that helps to bring you to wholeness so that you can abundantly contribute your authentic self to the world, doing work that you love, finding wealth and joy and freedom. And I'd love for you to join me in Mastermind starting on May 10th, I think it is. Sorry about that. And if you're interested, leave a message me, drop me a message, and I would love to, May 10th, Tuesday night, May 10th at 7:30. And drop me an email and I'll get you connect with you to let you know all of the details about joining the mastermind so that you too can grow in your confidence as a leader. All right. See you on my website or in social. Have a good one. Bye.